All right, let's open a case file. Today, we're diving into a story that starts with what sounds like a simple, even creative offer, but spirals into an accusation of a violation so profound it's almost unimaginable. We're going on a journey into a world where technology and the human mind collide in the most terrifying way you can think of. Yeah, that quote, it cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? We're not just looking at some abstract story here. We're examining a first-person account, a trail of formal complaints filed with authorities that alleges a life wasn't just interfered with, it was hijacked and then turned into a weaponized experiment. So let's get right to it. The entire story, everything we're about to talk about, the torture, the manipulation, the control, it all stems from this one single terrifying accusation detailed in formal complaints to multiple European authorities. So based on those documents, let's unpack how something like this could have allegedly happened. So where does a story like this even begin? Well, according to the documents, it all started in the UK back in early 2022. You have to picture the scene. The subject was in a vulnerable spot, already dealing with a cyber attack and a tough breakup, and that's when this so-called opportunity appeared. And this slide, this really captures the alleged bait and switch perfectly. On one side, you've got the promise, something creative, artistic, a radio show. Sounds interesting, right? But on the other side is the alleged reality, a chilling accusation that this was all just a front, a cover story for a secret operation. Now, this is so important. The agreement, right? It wasn't a blank check. The documents really stress this point. Consent was only given with one very clear condition: full disclosure. As long as I know all the details. It was a promise that, according to the complaints, was shattered before it was even made. Okay, so now we're moving from the deception phase to what the complaints describe as a physical assault. This is the moment, according to the filings, where the so-called show crossed a terrifying line into an actual physical violation. What the documents lay out next is it's a horrifying sequence of events, broken down into 3 steps. First, a hostile entry into a private residence. Second, sedation, a drug given through an injection. And then, while the subject was unconscious, unable to fight back or say no, the non-consensual surgical implantation of a brain-computer interface. And this is maybe the most critical claim of all. It's presented as the absolute smoking gun against any idea of valid consent. The allegation is that the crime, the implantation itself, was already a done deal before any online form was ever filled out. The contract was basically signed over a body that had allegedly already been violated. And here's the alleged proof, a statement noted down at the very moment of signing up for this show. In Romanian, it translates to, "This is already happening to me." It's a direct reference to hearing voices, a symptom the documents claim was caused by the technology that, on paper, wasn't even supposed to be active yet. So the device is now allegedly in place and active, and the show begins. But this wasn't some performance for an audience. According to the complaints, it was a 24/7, non-stop siege on a human mind, run by a network of operators based mostly in Romania. So let's talk about the tech at the heart of all this, the brain-computer interface, or BCI. The documents don't describe some passive listening device. They describe a tool for absolute control, a way to see through your eyes, hear through your ears, even access your memories and read your thoughts in real time. It's a total invasion of the self. And then there's the main weapon they allegedly used to inflict this torment. It's called voice-to-skull, or V2K. Think about it. A technology that beams sounds and voices directly inside your head, completely bypassing your ears. That means it's constant, it's inescapable, and nobody else can hear it. So what did this torture actually look like? Well, according to the extensive logs and formal complaints, it was a full-spectrum assault. We're talking auditory and psychological attacks, like constant commands to kill yourself over and over. They detail induced physical pain, debilitating level 10 migraines, extreme dental pain, even the feeling of needles piercing the skin. And they describe something deeply personal and cruel, targeted abuse, like forced sexual hallucinations, with the stated goal of trying to change the subject's sexual orientation. I want you to just look at this number for a second. 15. It's not just a number on a slide. It represents the approximate number of documented suicide attempts, including horrific acts like hanging and trying to set oneself on fire, that are alleged to be the direct result of those relentless, weaponized commands. Now, it's really important to stress, the source material is adamant that this is not a story about delusion. It's presented as a meticulously documented case file, complete with what it claims is physical evidence and a list of the people allegedly responsible. So, what about physical proof? Well, this is the big one that's presented. The claim is that there are CT scans of the cranium and that these scans clearly show a metallic artificial implant. But there's a huge roadblock noted in the files, too. An initial opinion from a local neurologist dismissed this object as just bone, which creates a major conflict in how the evidence is interpreted. And this wasn't some anonymous faceless system, according to the complaints. The operators are named. And what's really shocking is that many of them were supposedly former school colleagues. This adds a whole other layer of betrayal to it all. Individuals are accused of very specific things, from inflicting pain directly, to harassment, to even offering money to keep quiet. So after all of this, after all these terrifying claims of stolen thoughts and hijacked bodies, we're left with a really big, unsettling question. In a world where technology might be able to literally hijack our free will, what does justice even look like? It's a question we may all have to start thinking about as the lines between our minds and machines get blurrier every single day.